Hello, everybody. Welcome to my talk. I was going to say good morning, but I didn't know what to say. So, anyway, welcome to my talk. And today we're going to be talking about how bonds work because last time we talked about what bonds are. So, it's really cool to like reading it. It's like all this information, but got my notes again. And I am gonna. It starts with what I had said last time already. It's like bonds are issued in denominations of $1,000 and increments of 5,000 thereafter. This is called their face value or par value. The full amount of the loan to be paid back when the bond reaches maturity. And then maturities on bonds range from 10 to 30 years. So you would get and invest your money on a bond, and it would be a 10-year term or a 30-year term. So you got to think about it. But you could also invest in bonds that are less than 10 years, and bonds with maturity dates under 10 years are called notes. So there are available bonds that are under 10 years. So you have to research, look, see what you're getting into, because most of these are long term. And then the interest it pays represents the issuer's cost for borrowing the money and the investor's reward for lending the money. So that's the interest that you're going to get paid. So you have to check that too. The interest. And then the interest rate determines the price of the bond to the investor and is influenced by several factors. First is the demand to borrow money. When the demand is high, cost of borrowing the money goes up and so does the interest rate. Demand is low, then the interest rate is low. And the second is the risk reward ratio. The more risk in buying the bond, the higher the reward. But if you risk losing your money too, if you go to something that's might not be able to pay you back. So the way to assess bonds are to anticipate changes in the rate of the the rate of inflation. Can't read my own writing. Or look at the bond's credit rating. So they have a credit rating like the credit rating we get. So this is a letter ranking or grade used by independent services such as Standard & Poor's and Moody's to gauge the issuer's potential to pay the loan back, right? So I'm gonna turn this around really quick so you could see this, because that is in the book, and that's the Moody and the S&P, and those are the grades that they give. It's like the A's are the highest quality, lowest risk, all the way AA, and then A. And then there's a BAA for Moody and a BBB for S&P, and these are quality bonds with adequate capacity to pay interest. But then you go into the BB, B, and C's. These people or companies are in poor standing and are ready to default, and it's really risky to go anything lower than a BBB or a B little a for Moody's. But that is what they mean. in case you want to come back and read those. But you know, you want to stay in the A's, possibly the BBB, but unless you are a risk taker, don't go under that triple B for S&P. So those are my notes so far, and it's really interesting. And then I read in the book, like, the next thing is the interest versus yield, but I read it 2 or 3 times and I don't understand it very much. But it's the coupon interest rate paid on a bond is not the same as its yield, which refers to the rate of return actually earned on the actual amount invested in the bond. And there's 3 types of yields. And again, I don't understand it. I'm gonna have to read a little bit more into this, but there's a nominal yield, there's a current yield, and then there's a yield to maturity. And so the nominal yield is the amount of fixed income returned on a bond annually. And that's like what I told you last time, the 12% for $1,000, that's $120 a year, which would be $60 on a bi-yearly basis. Then there's the fluctuations in the market price of a bond I read it wrong. Fluctuations, current, where is it? No, the current. Anyway, current yield is calculated by dividing the annual interest on a bond by its current market price, using our previous example of so it's doing the 1,000 paying the 12, but you have to calculate here, and calculating is not my my biggest thing here. And then the yield to maturity is the most precise way of measuring the real return of a bond, compared to the other types, fixed income and long-term securities, because it takes everything into account: coupon rate in relation to purchase price versus par value, and the amount of time left to the maturity when the bond is redeemed. So, that's what I read. I read it twice. I think I read it 3 times so I could talk about it, and I don't understand the math very well, or that nominal, current, or yield to maturity. But they do give the equations there, examples, which I'm not gonna turn it around because I guess it's if you buy a discount bond, so the value of the bond is $1,000, but you purchase it at $800, then it gives you the yield, and it's $10, and 0.111444%. I don't know. I don't understand. And then there's a premium bond, which the value of the bond is $1,000, but then you purchase it at $1,200. So the yield to maturity is 10%. I don't understand. But I understand that the best way to go if you're planning to invest is to invest in bonds. So I'll believe in the math once I get there, and I'll just cross my fingers, because they say, and of course I'm gonna go with the T bonds, which is the government bonds, because they don't fail, and if they do, that's even worse. So the yields, I'm gonna have to learn a little bit more about those, maybe the next book, because I don't understand the yields. But I hope the bond rating, I hope you saw that there's bond ratings, and that it's not just go and give me a bond. You need to know the bond ratings. You need to know, if you're going with government bonds, because you don't want to risk it, It's a T bond, and I hope all the information I've given you so far is helping you. I got confused until we got to the interest versus yield. I'm gonna have to go on that again, but next week I'm gonna talk about buying and selling bonds, because that's what we're trying to do, right? We're trying to buy them and then get some money back from that. But for now, if you liked what you listened to and want to listen to some more, come back next Thursday. Subscribe so you know when they're coming. But I upload different subjects 3 times a week. Sunday, I have a Sunday project going on outside. Tuesday, it's usually exercise and the things I'm doing with my coaching program. And then Thursdays is always about investing and learning about bonds. I'm reading a book. This is my second book. It's Beating the Dough with Bonds. And I'm on chapter 2. It's the second part of chapter 2. This is next week is still gonna be chapter 2. It's kind of long, a lot of information, and I'm trying to get it. So get it with me.